Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, March 10th, and you may be wondering why I'm doing a video outside. Well, it's because I am voting today. And then you may be wondering, wait a minute, aren't you a Republican? And the answer is yes. So there's nothing to vote for, and the answer is no. I am here at the Broward Library here in Miramar Branch. And, well, yes, I'm not worried about the results of the Republican primary. There actually is a Republican primary, but there's other reasons to vote. One, for those of you that are always worried that somebody is going to take away your voting rights, vote when you can. In the state of Florida, if you can prove that you voted in the last 6 elections, it's going to be 6 years, at least once, you are still molto bueno from being taken off the list. In many states it is like that as well. There's a 6-year rule. Otherwise you could be purged because, well, quite frankly, it is expensive to maintain the rolls of voters who don't vote. And especially if you're dead. It's a lot of paperwork, it's a lot of things that get sent to individuals who don't vote, and more importantly, when they sell those voting lists to candidates and campaigns, it's a lot of wasted time and energy to go to voters who don't exist. I live in a city that actually does have a municipal election today, and usually when cities put municipal elections during a barely contested Republican primary, it is quite frankly because they don't want Republicans to vote. Now this happens to be the mayoral election of the city that I live in, but the fact that it is on the 17th to match the the presidential preference has a lot to do with, well, let's face it, we don't want Republicans to vote in the election. But also, if you were not going to vote for President Trump and you're a Republican, this is your one and only chance really to get a protest vote in without doing it on election day. Now, not sure if I can actually do my ballot in there, but I will pause this and see if I can get in there, and if I can, I will show the ballot. Just doing the ID part now. Alrighty, so I got my ballot, and this is the handy dandy description of stuff. Here in this county, we put the ballot in 3 languages, and just to prove that there is an actual election, boom, you got president and city. Alrighty, now I'm not gonna, well, I'll just show you who I'm gonna vote for. I'm going to show you who I'm going to vote for that one. As for the mayoral election, I'll leave that one to my own device. Alrighty, and that was it on voting. Pretty easy and simple. So, yeah, in Florida, by the way, in Florida you do have the right to express who you are voting for as long as you are not campaigning in a voting location. So you can actually record who you are voting for. It's not against state law. Check your own law and state about whether that is legal. As many states it is illegal, and that is the case. With that being said, let me get to my car. All right, and I am back in my car with my I voted early sticker. And so in my last video, I said that Bernie Sanders should have been able to hold up and defeat Joe Biden, and I was wrong. I admit it. And now I think that Joe Biden is going to run away with it. And you may be saying, Frank, why should I take your advice? Well, as the Lisa the Greek gambling episode of The Simpsons, there was a character supposed to be based on Jimmy the Greek. When you're right 52% of the time, you're wrong 48% of the time. All right. So a lot of this was based on early voting. I thought early voting would be higher in Texas. And actually, in early voting in Texas, Bernie did very, very well. The issue was that the late voters all basically went for Biden. It was like almost 3-1 for Biden. Did not think that Minnesota would turn out for Biden, as he was barely polling before Klobuchar got out the day before. It does not look like it's a good pack for the senator who's not really a Democrat from Vermont. Today is Mini Super Tuesday, which is the dumbest term I've ever heard. You can't have a mini super. Okay, it's like, it just doesn't make any sense. There's 6 states up on the ballot today. Michigan will be the decisive vote for most people to know that Biden is going to be the Democratic nominee. Outside chance that Sanders loses Washington State. But of the 6 states that are on the line, I believe that Biden will win 4 of them. And then the week after that, Florida, Ohio, Illinois, Arizona. There is not a state there that I think Sanders can win, especially not Florida. And while I don't think Sanders gets out, because what's he going to do? He's a cranky old 78-year-old. Biden will be the nominee. As for the general at this point, it is very far away to make that prediction. With the coronavirus out there, it is sort of messing with everyone's prediction. We will see what happens with the effects of the coronavirus. And at this stage, I will say it is close for both sides, whether with Trump or Biden in most states. Florida will be a deciding factor. I thought Florida would be an easy, definitely a lean Republican, but now with the probably impending economic crisis of the travel industry, it'll definitely hit Florida triple hard between cruise lines, international travel, and domestic travel. 2 of the 3 biggest ports in the United States are in Florida, Miami and Cape Canaveral. Of course, you have Disney. If people don't want to fly in across the world, if people don't want to go to a big major event. My worry is, as a Republican, if, say, WrestleMania gets canceled, that's a lot of jobs that are going to be affected in Tampa. That's a lot of lost revenue. In South Florida, we are already messing with the mayor of the city of Miami, as opposed to the county mayor of Miami-Dade, canceling 2 major festivals. Cayocha was a big Cuban and Latino festival, and Ultra, which is a big EDM festival. So that's where we are. Like and subscribe. I early voted. And for those who think, hey, early voting doesn't make any sense, if you know who you're going to vote for them. If they drop out of the race and you had any inkling, oh, maybe I should wait. Well, then if you're worried that they're going to drop out of the race, then don't vote for that person. You don't have to early vote. But early voting does get a lot of the way. And I know I put my video here on pause, but the whole thing took 3 minutes, and that was me mostly filming it, the extra time. So bye. Have a good day.